his 201st goal as PSG take all 3 points. What that means is they're 9 points separate PSG and Marseille at the top of the French table. For PSG, it's nice, of course, to have that lead in France, but it's all about the Champions League and all about trying to turn around that 1-0 deficit against Bayern Munich. Bayern huge favourites to go through. PSG 4-1. Jules, how are you feeling going into this tie from what we saw this weekend?
I mean, there was some really good things tonight against Nantes, and sometimes where they fell asleep and then just stop playing, really, stop the intensity, stop everything that they were doing so well before. That's a bit worrying, although you would think that mentally they would approach the game differently against Bayern because of the scale of the game and what it means and what's at stake, really, than tonight, where I think they thought the game was 1 or 2-0 up after 20 minutes to go, after 20 minutes played, when it was not really the case. So you could expect the similar team, I think, if Marquinhos is okay, if Mukiele is okay, Hakimi should be back, not Neymar, but Hakimi should be back. So I think we will see again the back three with the 5 in midfield and then only Messi and Mbappe up front to try to play on the counter, to run in behind, especially Mbappe running behind the high defensive line from Bayern. And that would be the game plan, similar to what we saw last weekend against Marseille. And I think if Mbappe is in that kind of form, if Messi plays again like as well as he did tonight, for example, in some spells, then anything is possible. When Mbappe is in that kind of form, anything is possible. But it would be still very difficult to go there and not concede a goal.
How big a disaster would it be if they do indeed go out, Jules?
Well, I think the pressure on Galtier, that was eased after the Marseille win, but even if you lose to Bayern, you still lose in the last 16 of the Champions League, and that's not good enough. You could say that they should have topped their group and maybe would have avoided a tough draw for the last 16. And when you see Benfica, who topped their group, facing Bruges, you're thinking, okay, well, maybe that's what they should have done. And I think Galtier will be blamed, of course, for them being knocked out even by a great team so early in the competition, which is, we always say every season, which is the competition where you judge the season, really. I know it's unfair on them, but even if they win the league, it would not be enough, just the league, because the Champions League would have been a failure in the sense that the last 16 is just not good enough for them. So, yeah, the pressure will be back on him, and then he will probably keep his job until the end of the season, but they will, something will feel like he's not really delivered enough.
What's your feeling, Frank, going into this tie?
Well, if it's the Paris Saint-Germain that I saw the first 25 minutes, I got some hopes about the fact that they can go through and disturb Bayern Munich and maybe win over there. Messi was outstanding today, in big shape, maybe the best player today on the field. But as you mentioned, Marquinhos, if he's not playing at the back, Ramos does well, but without Marquinhos, it'll be shaky at the back. It's going to be quite difficult to cope, and Donnarumma can be the best goalkeeper in the world at some point and makes some silly, let's say, anticipation, which opens some spaces for clever strikers like Blas did today. It's a big question mark. We never know with Paris Saint-Germain where we can stand, and they can surprise everybody and stick together and work together very well. And Stevie said yesterday, with Neymar on the field, no chance for them to win. Without Neymar, maybe a slight chance to win. Is it only about Neymar with or without him? I don't know. But there is a possibility for them to surprise again. And if Mbappe and Messi do the job and work hard and score goals, yeah, it's possible. But otherwise, it's going to be terrible to be out after being just in the last 16, even if it's against Bayern Munich, and it's going to be hard for Galtier to keep his position.
You've got to be slightly concerned there, Frank, quoting Stevie. I'm not sure that's something you particularly want to do. Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.